secondary air injection faults on this 996 turbo. Here's what's going on. To remove everything, we have to normally take the engine out to actually test this. We're gonna run a couple tests on this 996 turbo. We're gonna check for secondary injection clogs. So there's a couple reasons why for this. So we're gonna go ahead and test for it and determine what's causing this. Some of the issues that we have found is the secondary injection pumps break apart and it can obstruct one of the ports. I've seen sometimes both. You're lucky if you can get the combi valve to be obstructed at the valve, and then you can just take it out and clean it. But sometimes they lodge beyond that, and then it's an engine out because you can't actually remove the combi valve without removing the intake, and there's no room or access. So we're gonna test for this particular problem at the port, old versus new, and we're gonna check what we have after cat running condition. So right here, we're gonna check that secondary injection valve. Unfortunately, you can't remove it unless you remove the engine. There's no room, so we're gonna test from underneath. Smoke machine hooked up, and we're gonna test the ports. We can engage and open the valve. We have our headers removed from the turbocharger and the engine side, and you can see some smoke there because we were just testing it. So we're gonna see the flow of both of the banks, see which one doesn't flow. A little bit over a minute of airflow when the preheating of the catalytic converters is activated with the secondary air injection pump will run until to warm up the cats. After this, pump will shut down and turn off, and then it's just normal warm up stage at that point. And then the system will go into closed loop once everything's warmed up. So it's always good to take all these steps because it's very easy to just replace your pump, your valve, remove the engine, but then never get to the root cause of the problem. Another problem it can have is restriction at the catalytic converter, which we already scoped. The catalytic converters, they are actually in good shape. So as these vehicles age, you can start experiencing these kind of issues because it's just 20-year-old components, and the components are old, and unless they all get replaced, some of them can fail. The filters inside can deteriorate and break. The actual pumps can just let go just due to time. And what we're going to do is verify all these components are functioning, and whatever components are not functioning, we're going to replace. Now, if the pump breaks apart in pieces like on the 997, then it's a real problem. On this one, we still have pump is fully intact. So we're just going to test some pressures right now and do some measurements. And the flow restriction is right here. This one here, there's our problem. And that's how we determine restriction on these cars. Look at this smoke. Bank 2, activate. So slowly brings down to 0.25. Bank 1, sensor 2 is gonna drop 0.020 quickly. So there's a clog in bank 2, sensor 2 area, which is secondary injection. There we go, you can start seeing. These are flowing much better. This one's the slowest. We're going to demonstrate a clog in the secondary injection ports by activating it manually. One more test. Running the last test, so here's the old secondary air pump. We're gonna check pressure. Less than 1 PSI. We're gonna test a new one. 2 PSI. It even sounds different. But there we go. Weak pump. You won't even know it because it still runs. You get secondary air injection codes. So after unclogging ports here, we started driving the vehicle and we noticed that the pump and everything started to pump. So we tested it, and here is our statuses. So we pretty much completed all our driving cycles except the evaporator, which has nothing to do with secondary air. So this should be a really good news for our customers. You don't have to drop the engine, which is a huge job. Anyways, this 996 is a very beautiful vehicle, and they are just rare now. What a beautiful car. I'm glad we were able to solve it without a huge expense, and this prevented us from removing things, and we had another method of cleaning it, so it should be good to go, as it did complete the driving cycle. So you guys have a 996 turbo, 996, 996, any 996, 986 generation. Make sure you replace your secondary air pumps, because when they do break apart, they will send shrapnel into your secondary port system, and then you're gonna have problems. What's cool about this 996 is it's got a GT3 cup mod that we did, which has a dipstick. It also has a true GT2 setup where everything's been bypassed, so we have a real GT2 clutch, not one of those attachments. It's actually, the transmission has been machined and it's got a GT2 clutch. But anyways guys, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.